Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the video. As I'm recording this, it is Tuesday, January the 23rd, and it is a rather gloomy day. I shouldn't say gloomy, it's a little cloudy, but the weather's pretty nice. It's very humid, and I'd say probably mid to upper 60s, maybe in lower 70s. But anyways, guys, thanks. Welcome back to the vlog. Thank you for being here again with me today. Today, I don't really even have a plan. We are gonna go grab a bite. About lunch. I think we're gonna head up to a Greek place. I got a story to tell in this little video. We gotta stop and pick something up, and I'm not very happy about it, but I wanna tell you a little story about it. Actually gonna be a little negative on this channel. I don't really like to do that, but sometimes I think it's necessary because I think the folks that are watching could use some of the information that I have to share. But anyways, guys, thanks for being here, and let's get this video started. I had planned on getting this adventure started, but I forgot. The kids are not here, so walking the dogs is on us right now. The kids are spending a few days over at my parents over in the Tampa Bay area. And one of their main chores, well, actually their main chore is walking the dogs. So me and Jen are having to run double duty this week, literal double duty. So yeah, I forgot we had to walk the dogs before we could get this day and adventure started. Well, our first stop brings us here to Fancy Sushi in Claremont, Florida. We have been frequenting Claremont quite a bit here in the last few videos, and that's okay. I actually really like this little town. I don't know, but I absolutely love sushi. I'm pretty stoked to be here. I have never been here before, but we're gonna give it a shot. All right, guys, so I did end up getting a combo. So it comes with salad and soup. So this is their ginger salad. It has their homemade ginger dressing on it, covered in some greens, there's like carrots in there. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, that's a good ginger. That's a good ginger dressing. Ginger dressings are not all created equal. Some I really like, some are too sweet, some are very tangy. I tend to prefer the tangy side of ginger dressings. This is pretty good. Up next we have the miso soup. I call it dirty dishwater soup. But basically it's a broth, like a chicken broth, has some mushrooms, very thinly sliced mushroom, and there's like some shallots, or not shallots, green onion. Staple in any Japanese place you'll ever eat. I dig it.
I've been kind of dabbling in sake a little bit, and by dabbling, I mean I got it last time when we went out to go get sushi. But this one's cool. This one has like ice in the center of it. Look at that. Is that not pretty neat? To keep the rest of the sake cool. And then you pour it in the whatchamadoodle here. And this one's coconut. And so it's like super creamy. It doesn't have like a really alcohol-y taste to it. It like gives me like tropical Japan vibes. I dig it.
I went with one of the lunch specials. You got to pick out any 3 rolls you wanted. I did a shrimp tempura, a spicy tuna, and an Alaska roll, which includes salmon, avocado, and cucumber. I also, when I do sushi, I make me a little some wasabi soy mixture here. And, pretty tasty. All right, let's start over here. Let's start closest to me with the Alaska roll. Yes, I use a fork. Don't judge me, because I am not good with chopstick. I'm not even really good with a fork, so.
They're judging you.
Yeah, they're definitely, it's fine if you're judging me, I get it. But in with the Alaska. I love sushi, guys. One of my favorite things in the world to eat. Next one I'm coming with, it looks like salmon to me, but Jen said it was tuna, and I didn't think I ordered tuna. Spicy tuna roll. Good though. And last but certainly not least, a shrimp tempura roll. Ooh. I think it has eel sauce on it. It's little,
I love eel sauce.
gives it like a little sweet texture to it, a little sweet taste to it. Pretty good. Let me know, guys, down in the comments, do you guys like sushi or are you anti-sushi? I was anti-sushi most of my life. This is something I've developed in the last couple of years that I absolutely love. It took me a long time. It was a texture thing. Then it was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna eat raw food, I'm gonna get sick. Yeah, right? Now it's one of my favorite things in the world to eat. So if you think you don't like it and you've really never given it a good shot, I'd highly recommend giving it a try. It's fun. It's a fun food.
I've eaten half the roll already, but I think this is salmon. I got tuna, white fish is somewhere, And I think there was, yeah, the whitefish. But let's go ahead and give it a taste here. And I use chopsticks because I feel like when you eat cuisine that requires chopsticks, it just makes it taste better when you use the chopsticks. It's really good. I feel like Kyle did make the better selection though. And mine's still really good.
That was pretty good. I wasn't a super big fan of my spicy tuna. I guess I don't really know what I was expecting, but I don't think that was it. It was okay. But the other two rolls were tasty. The shrimp tempura was by far my favorite. Our second stop brings us to a very familiar stop here in Claremont for us, the Goodwill. It's hard. We actually had to pass it yesterday when we were driving through town, and we were pressed for time and we did not stop. So this was on the way to our next stop, so this is our second stop. As per usual, the Goodwill is hopping. This is a busy store. All the ones we've been into in this area have been rather busy. But I mean, with good reason. It is a good Goodwill. I mean, look at these shelves. These things are jam-packed. Every shelf in this store is this way. These are some of my favorite sections to look at. Look at this. This is one of those pool fences, those safety fences. We used to have one in our old house. That's a good buy. Like, if you were really needing one of those, you save like a few $100. Those things aren't cheap. Oh, dog kennels. We are in the need for a dog kennel. We need one because we are doing an event here in a few weeks. We're going to have the dogs with us, but we're going to have to be able to cage them while we're in the event. So, okay, here's some here. This may be what we do. I wonder how much they are. So that's still, I mean, these things are pretty pricey. They're like $100 or more. That one's $30. That's not terrible, I wouldn't think. I mean, that's not a terrible option because, I mean, those, like I said, those things are well over $100 a piece. But those are a little small. I'd like to get one where we could fit at least 2 dogs in each one. But I'll tell you about that guy in another video, in an upcoming video. Yeah, sometimes it's just even difficult to walk in here because there's just so much stuff, and then there's so many people on top of the stuff. It gets a little interesting. And this is another good hack for you guys. We've done this before. Like, we have to take like a plane trip and we need to pack quite a bit of stuff because we don't keep luggage. Like, it's not something for us that's worth storing in the bus because we don't use it maybe once a year at best. So you can come somewhere like this, pick up a cheap bag or two, and you know, when you're done with it, you just redonate it. We did that last year when we went to Florida. Look at this old shoe. That is too cool. But yeah, we did that last year when we went to Florida. It ended up working out really good. We spent like $30. Everybody had a suitcase and it worked out fine. We got back. I think we went to the same store and just gave it all back to them. So let me know, guys, I can't be the only one. I grew up with this pattern of china and cookware in my home growing up. Actually, by Action out of Japan. But I grew up on a strawberry farm, and I assumed that was why we had this type of, you know, cookware. But I wonder if it was just like an 80s thing or 70s or 80s thing. Let me know, guys, is that something you've seen in your home or when you were growing up? Because I sure did. Oh, that's a nice piece. Ooh. It's an OXO, like, big, I don't know if it's called a strainer. What do they call it? They're not calling it anything, but I don't even know where I keep that, though. You know, it's one of the big things about doing what we do is, you know, before we make a purchase, we really have to consciously think, is this something, one, do I really need it? Do I have at least one good regular use for it? And two, where can I keep it? Or, you know, that's an issue. It's something we run into. There's a little Cadillac there. Like somebody done jacked the wheels off of it, though. They're on at least the driver's side, because the passenger side still has its rims. But yeah, that's a big consideration we have to make because there's 5 of us. Each of us have our own things. Each of us have necessities. So each purchase we make, you know, other than, you know, obviously very small things, has to be considered. So it's something we put a lot of thought into, or, you know, and it'd be nice to have the new bus. It'd give us a little more space. So we are able to store and carry a little bit more stuff. But for the time being, we have to be mindful of our purchases. So I always like to try to make sure I look in the glass cabinets when I'm shopping around in these places because you never really know what you're going to find. I like that old white GMC belt buckle. That's an old semi. They don't even make those anymore. That's pretty cool. Somebody got some wedding rings over here. Either it didn't go through or they bought too many wedding rings. I don't know. You be the judge. There's some nice stuff. This is a pretty nice Goodwill. I will say, I do like this one quite a bit. Well, we made it out a rather short trip because we do have other things to do that are a little more pressing than that. My shirt was $4.19. Jen's two sweater and skirt were $6.99 each. After rounding up the total, we spent $20.
It's always good to round up.
Yeah, we always try to round up if we can, especially if it's going to a good cause. All right, show us what we got.
So I got a cute little skirt.
Got some big buttons on the front.
Little buttons on the front. It's like a little cottony, I don't know, roughish material, but I like it. Then I got a little crop top sweater because you never know when you're gonna need a little.
To crop your top?
Yeah. And then Kyle, for our upcoming fun, got a coconut mojito shirt, I think.
Yeah, I'm tailoring my wardrobe a little bit for the impending cruise that is coming up soon. So our next stop brings us to Pet Supermarket. And I'm going to get into my story a little bit here in just a minute about why we are at Pet Supermarket. And it's been a very frustrating couple of months that has led us up to this point. But more on that in just a minute. Oh, we were passing through and we saw the little bunnies in here. I like looking at all the little critters. Supposedly there's a guinea pig in here that I do not see. Oh, maybe everybody else is. Oh, there's one over there. Is that a guinea pig? That's a gerbil. Or is that a guinea pig?
It's a guinea pig.
It's a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, so going back to August, we had to board the dogs for the Pigeon Forge Family Challenge. We used Rover. We were asking around we're asking for suggestions. Everybody's like, use Rover, use Rover. I was like, all right, we use Rover. Long story short, we use Rover. The first day of the challenge, we're about to start filming. The person we dropped the dogs off with loses Chico, and apparently he had been missing for like 18 hours at this point. Yeah, and we're about to film for a reality show, and we just find out that they have lost our dog. Luckily, within an hour or two, I get a text from the lady saying Chico is back. Chico showed up, he walked through the door. So fast forward, we go pick the dogs up. We get the dogs home, and the dogs are infested with fleas. I mean, just covered in them. Yeah. So we need a front line for let me see, 45 to 88 pounds. Yeah, and I guess we'll use and then the 5 to 10 pound front line. Yep, 45 to 88, the purple one, and then this pink one right here. Thank you very much. Well, that worked out all right. We got the dogs some more front line. And I'll tell you why. So fast forward, we do that where they're infested with fleas. She loses Chico. We get Chico back, all is well. Fast forward, we go back in November. We have to board the dogs, so we go get their shots. They were due for their shots because they had to have their vaccinations up to date for the boarding. So we do that, we get Bravecto because they have fleas, and you have to get Bravecto through a farm or through a veterinarian. So we get the prescription, and we try to fill this thing with Chewy. Chewy has to contact, we use Vetco. That's the company we use, it's Vetco. It's through the company Petco, which is the pet store. So come to find out, Chewy tries to contact Vetco to get the prescription, to verify that we indeed had a prescription. And apparently Vetco, the ball got dropped somewhere, and the prescription is claimed to already been filled. So Chewy denies our order, ship in, and just refunds us our money. So great. So that's the thing with Vetco. Vetco was horrible. We called them. Their customer service was so rude to us. Our Jen.
Awful.
It was a terrible experience. And we paid really good money for this, and our dogs still had fleas. So fast forward to when we just did our trip to go get the bus, we took our dogs to Rover again. We get back, the night before we get back to get the dogs, which mind you is a day early, the lady texts me and says, oh, something happened to Kevin's testicles. I'm not really sure what's going on. I have some cream. I'm going to put the cream on him until you get home. I was like, okay, great. So we get there. We pick Kevin up. Kevin just doesn't look right. Something's just off. So we get home, and Jen starts looking at Kevin. It was that night. And we notice Kevin looks like his face looks weird. So Kevin's face just did not look right, and we couldn't really put our finger on it. And Jen, as many of you know, or most of you know, Jen was in the grooming industry for a lot of years. She's like, she cut Kevin's hair. So we just kept looking around, and Kevin, she trimmed around his eyes, she trimmed under his mouth, and come to find out, she trimmed around his testicles. And apparently clipped his testicles with whatever trimming device she was using and put a probably a dime-sized gaping hole in his testicles. So when we picked him up, she was overly nice. You know, she was a nice person, but she was overly nice. She was really selling it to us. I even got her a tip out in cash. I was like, here, take your tip. Thank you so much for taking care of our pups. She's like, oh, no, no, no. This is, no worries. Everything's good. And she was just kind of
on them extra.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was really playing it up, like really loving on the dogs. Just like we didn't really think anything of it at the time. Come to find out, we have no way to prove this, but chances are Kevin had his testicles sliced open with some sort of cutting apparatus. So that's our story with Rover. It has been horrible. And again, I have talked to many people. They absolutely love Rover. In my opinion, we didn't save really any money, and at the end of the day, we ended up costing us a lot more money because I ended up taking Kevin to the vet and spending $650 on medication to try to get him straightened out. So Rover and Vetco through Petco has not been a very good experience for us. So fast forward to today, we're still trying to get rid of these freaking fleas because
Capstar and all the things.
We have tried every possible over-the-counter medication we can possibly get our hands on. We make an appointment this coming Saturday. I'm taking them back to a shot vet solely for the purpose of getting Brevecto. I can buy it in the store at the time of the appointment. So we bought some more Capstar today. We bought Capstar today to try to get the problem solved. But Brevecto is really the only thing that we have found that can really take care of the problem and eradicate the flea situation. Again, guys, I'm not a person, and this channel is not about bashing anybody, but I feel like those two companies have really did us wrong, and we spent a lot of money with both of them, and I don't feel like either company was worthy of, any of your business in the future. So,
but we have used a shot place that was good. The shot vet was good. The Vetco is not.
Yeah, and
Shot was great. Shot vet or vet something like that.
Yeah, I had good faith in Vetco. I mean, it's Petco owns and operates, and it was in their store, but yeah, steer clear. Swim for open waters on that one. Find a better option because either company, the Rover app is, at the end of the day, we did a lot of thinking. It's just anybody can sign up for that. It's kind of like Uber for dog sitting, and I'm not to say there probably are some great caretakers out there, but that just hasn't been our experience to this point. So at this point, we are just going to board the dogs in a normal boarding facility like we have done in the past. And we're going to steer clear from those two brands. And in my opinion, I suggest you do the same.
Good afternoon. How are we doing today?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm so good, thanks. What can I get you?
Can I do a venti iced latte with oat milk?
Yeah. That's your latte, oat milk. We want any flavor in there today?
Yeah, no sweetener or flavors, please.
All right, beautiful. What else for you, friends?
And I'd like a venti iced coffee with oat milk also, no sweetener or anything.
All right. All right, friend. What's next?
That'll do it.
Cool beans. We're looking at 1166. Let's see you up here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got me couldn't pass up the opportunity for a good Starbucks iced coffee. This has definitely been my go-to for the last few weeks. It's actually $1 or $2 cheaper than the iced latte. And I was just telling Jen, caffeine seems to be affecting me a little differently now than it once did. So coffee, regular drip coffee, doesn't have near the caffeine as obviously a latte. So that's been my go-to. Man, guys, I have just had the hardest time getting the desire and the mindset to work on this van. Like, I'm so close to getting it to where I need it, where I can list it and sell it. But I don't know. I have such a hold up on this van. Not in a good way. Like, I want it to leave. I want to be done with it. But I don't know. Every time I go to work on it, I just seem to get preoccupied and find and make excuses on things, like other things I could and probably should be doing, and by the end of the day, I still have done next to no work on it. So I figured I have to get out here and at least put in a little bit of labor on it and try to get it as good as I can. I want to kind of clean it out. That's what I'm doing right now, and then tomorrow I plan to get it detailed, get some new pictures taken, and I'm just going to list the thing. Like, it's time to move on. Florida is we're running out of time quickly here in Florida, so it's time to move on. It's time for this thing to find its new home And I'm just ready for that to happen. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a little brief update on the toilet situation. So the other day I got this adhesive and put it around the rim of diverter slash whatever you want to call it, and I sat some weight on top of it for 2 or 3 days, and it's in there. Like it's in there pretty good. Pretty stoked with that. Update on the plumbing. I think the plumbing is going to be just fine. Like I said, when I tested it, I think I dumped the water too fast. I've tested it since then, and it worked just fine. So I think we're good to go there. You know, we just got to really give this area of the van a really good cleaning, and I think she'll be good to go back here. I think this plumbing is going to be just fine. I do have to still do a little bit underneath, and but just, you know, 20 minutes worth of work. So like I said, right now I'm just kind of going through, pulling the last remaining stuff out. Other than cleaning, I do have to replace a thing above around the TV, but kind of just touching up some of this paint along here, especially back here where the kids slept and all, and just kind of coming through and wiping everything down real good. So I plan to get that done in the next day or two, because ultimately what I want to do is get this thing cleaned up, detailed, and the detailers, they will detail the cab part of the van, but they won't touch the conversion part. So not a huge deal. I get it. They don't want the liability and this, that, and the other. So my plan is to get the outside wax, wash the wax, have them detail this area. We'll have this area back here touched up, cleaned up, take some pictures, guys, and list this baby up. And as soon as I do, I will let you guys know, and I will post a link in the description. Again, it won't be this video. Hopefully here in the next couple videos, we'll be getting this van listed. Well, I have not done a cooking video in a while, so tonight I'm going to do a little one. I'm not going to get too in-depth with it, but we are going to cook up some stir fry. That's what you see sitting out in front of you. I am going to be making my homemade yummy yummy sauce. We've got some bok choy over here, which is one of mine and Jen's favorites. Got some jasmine rice we'll be cooking up in the rice cooker, and then we will be frying it. Got some a couple broccoli florets over here. An onion, got some salsas and stuff. I'm actually currently searing me a little piece of steak over here. I'm going to sear it a couple minutes on each side, pull it off, let it rest. Then I'm going to chop it up and cook it in some of this teriyaki sauce here in a little bit. So we're busy. We got to get to it. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my rice up over here. Just basically rinse it a little bit. I've used this rice cooker so much, I don't even measure rice or water anymore. I've just done this a lot. Right now I'm going to put together my yummy yummy sauce recipe. Pretty simple to do, just a few ingredients. It's a mayonnaise base. I like to make that first, that way I can throw it in the fridge and get it nice and chilled before we consume it. I find that I like the taste a little better once it's chilled. Best mayonnaise you can afford. I recommend that for anytime you're making any type of sauce or any type of dressing. Best mayonnaise you can use. I prefer Duke's. We were using Hellmann's for a while, but come to find out they use bioengineered products in their mayonnaise, so we quickly found an alternative. Duke's seems to be a pretty solid replacement for us. Come in with a tablespoon of ketchup. This is the sauce that you get at Japanese hibachi type restaurants. They typically call it yummy yummy sauce. I know that's probably not the official name for it, but that's the one it's most widely known by. Tablespoon of mirin, 2 teaspoons rice vinegar, 1/4 teaspoon paprika, 3/4 of a teaspoon garlic powder, 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon granulated sugar, tablespoon of melted butter. Now just come in, combine, whisk to combine everything real nice, and chill it. That's kind of the consistency and the texture you're going for. It's pretty tasty stuff. All right, next thing we're going to get into is we're going to cut up a broccoli floret, yeah, I'm probably going to go ahead and cut them both up. They are a bit small. I know it's more work to use fresh broccoli, but man, you know, there's certain things you just get more, you get your money's worth when you put in the work. Go ahead and come over here to my wok and get it heated up. Get a nice, good hot fire going underneath it. Get this thing sizzling hot. With some olive oil. Broccoli is one of those vegetables that soaks up a ton of whatever you're cooking it in. So I will be adding more. In the meantime, while I'm waiting on my oil to heat up, I'll go ahead and slice my onion up over here. I'm just using a whole, probably medium-sized yellow onion. Time to go in with the broccoli. I did go ahead and add my onions in. I put in a little bit of sesame oil, some garlic, and some soy sauce, just letting this saute here for a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna come over here, start working on my bok choy. For us, bok choy is a staple for stir fry. Me and Jen both really love bok choy. If you've never tried bok choy, definitely give it a try. It's not intimidating at all to cook. It's basically just a green, and then you can eat the stalk, which are tasty also. Very tasty, healthy dish. We really dig this stuff. Yeah, so basically I'm just chopping it up, you know, into whatever sizes strikes your fancy, and you do that. I've had it in tiny pieces. I've had it shredded. I like it anyway. Just get it nice and clean. Time to bring in the bok choy. So yeah, it fills up most of my skillet right now. This stuff cooks down considerably, so it won't be near as much as it is now. I am going to be making Jen some tofu. So the best way I found to cook tofu is in the smallest little pieces you can get it in. She likes it crunchy, so this is the best way I've found to be able to really get a good crunch on it, and it cooks much quicker this way. So I just slice them up. This is actually a lot. I'm probably not even going to use all of this. And kind of dice it up into whatever bite-sized pieces work for you. Again, I like it pretty small. When I throw it in the skillet, I will show you the size for reference. Throw it in some bean sprouts and baby corn. So we had our rice from the rice cooker, threw it in here, broke it up a little bit, had a little bit of sesame oil on the bottom, and put a few of these little butter sticks in here. So basically this is kind of a little bit of a slow process, but just kind of keep folding the rice around, getting the heat to it, melting the butter. You start browning the rice is really all you're trying to do. When you add that butter, it gives it something to brown and kind of puts a nice crisp on the rice. It's where you get that fried flavor, or at least the texture from. I'm going to come in with a little bit more sesame oil for that authentic Asian taste that we all know and love. Looking pretty good there now, so now I'm going to start pumping some soy sauce to it. Put a good amount on there, and just keep flipping it. You'll start to see it browning up. I don't know if you can tell from in there. I'll go ahead and pick it up a little bit. I'll do this several times to really get it to spread it around, because, you know, it's a lot of rice and a relatively small wok. So this is, like I say, this is a little bit of a process. This meal is not a super quick throw together meal, especially in my situation with my kitchen set up the way it is. It's kind of a commitment to make this one. And this fried rice smells good. Like I say, it's a bit of a time-consuming process. If you had like a Blackstone griddle, it's much, much quicker. You can spread the rice out and you can really get that fry or that crisp on there that we all want. But this is looking pretty good, and it smells even better. Now in with Jen's tofu. So now you can kind of really see how small I diced this up. I threw a little bit of butter in here and some sesame oil. So basically I'm just gonna spread them out as good as I can. Just sit here and let them crisp up for a few minutes. And of course, last but not least, we come in with the steak. Remember, I just browned each side of the beef, because I knew I was gonna be doing this. So I've got, again, I went in with some butter and a little bit of sesame oil. So I'm just gonna cook this here for a couple minutes, flip it around, then I'm gonna be adding in some teriyaki sauce. Now I'm gonna come in with a little bit of teriyaki sauce. I don't add a lot. Again, I don't like to drown out the flavor of whatever it is I'm cooking. But I just like to add a little bit just to kind of zhuzh it up, as Jen likes to say. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the heat because that skillet is super hot. Well, here's the final product, everything we made tonight. I did a base layer of fried rice on the bottom. I have my Brussels sprouts and baby corn, my broccoli, my onions, my bean sprout, my bean sprouts over here, some bok choy, and of course I got my teriyaki steak over here. Man, it smells good. Then I got of course, my yummy yummy sauce that I made that has been chilling. I just like to drizzle a little bit over the top of pretty much everything. This is all pretty much gonna get mixed together anyway at some point, so why not? All right, so I got a little bit of everything. Got a piece of steak on there, broccoli, the whole works. Let's give it a shot. Not bad. I've came a long way in my stir fry over the years. I used to make horrible stir fry.
Horrible.
So for me, it's pretty good. I think I did okay. Anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today, as always. And I'm going to sit here and eat my dinner with my lovely wife and probably get to bed because I am exhausted. Anyways, guys, as always, we appreciate you being here. And, we'll see you again here in a couple days in another old video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.